Crime bosses in the Huyton Firm had planned to murder the men they thought had taken more than 1 million of cocaine from them. After a successful challenge in court, BBC Panorama obtained 10,000 of the firm's messages. They revealed plans for brutal violence, including a hand grenade attack. The Huyton Firm, named after part of Merseyside, where it is based, has been run for 30 years by two secretive brothers following the conclusion of a series of trials at Manchester Crown Court. They can now be identified as Vincent and Francis Coggins. The brothers and others in the firm spoke freely on EncroChat messaging system, believing their encrypted conversations were completely secure. The messages give a unique insight into the inner workings of an organised crime group, revealing that Vincent Coggins ordered violent attacks and murders and boasted about personally slashing a businessman with a knife. Francis Coggins sent photos of blocks of cocaine, and the brothers discussed a deal for half a tonne of the drug valued at about 16 million. The brothers talk about being helped by a corrupt police insider they refer to as Piggy. Key members of the firm shared personal photos which helped police identify them behind their online usernames. Matt Horn, former Deputy Director of Investigations at the National Crime Agency, told Panorama the gang's industrial-scale drug trafficking and willingness to resort to severe violence put them in upper tiers of organised crime in the UK. In one message, Vincent Coggins threatened to torture a local businessman. Then we decide whether we'd slash him up, chop his fingers off, or whatever. All the crime group's messages are reproduced here, with their original spelling and punctuation. The next day, he boasted about how he had slashed the man with a knife slash across his face and smashed his eyes in and took half an ear and half a tongue. The brutality of the Huyton Firm even shocked rivals in the Liverpool's notoriously violent criminal underworld. One anonymous source who knows Vincent Coggins well told Panorama that the crime gang were deeply hated by many people because of the level of depravity that they go to instill fear and terror. The messages talk about the Huyton Firm being helped by a corrupt police insider. The insider appears to have provided the crime group with printouts from the police national computer that allowed the gangsters to see what detectives knew about them. Merseyside Police says through extensive investigation was conducted by the anti-corruption unit, no officers or staff were identified in relation to misuse of police systems. Like thousands of criminals around the world, the Huyton Firm thought the EncroChat software would keep their messages completely secure and their identities secret, but French police cracked the encryption app and shared messages about 7,000 British criminals with the NCA in 2020. The messages covered the period when one of the Huyton Firm's drug stash houses in Liverpool was robbed by rival gangsters. In total, 32 serious criminals linked to the raid have now been convicted. Vincent Coggins, who used the EncroChat handle Moonlit Boat, has been jailed for 28 years for drug trafficking and blackmail. Others jailed crime group members include enforcer Paul Woodford, 24 years and 6 months, drug dealer Michael Earl, 11 years, and moneyman Paul Fitzsimmons, 12 years and 6 months. Their convictions could not be reported until the completion of the trial of Edward Robert Jarvis, another major player in the Huyton Firm. He was found guilty of drug trafficking and blackmail at Manchester Crown Court. Crime boss Francis Coggins is on the run and believed to be abroad. Panorama's request for copies of the 10,000 messages from the Huyton Firm that had been used in court was initially turned down, but the programme obtained the messages after making an application to the judge. They provide a vivid account of how the crime group tried to exact violent retribution after the cocaine heist. A young man makes a frantic 999 call from a semi-detached house on a residential street. He and his dad have just been attacked by masked men armed with a machete and an axe. When police turn up, there's blood everywhere. The two men inside are keeping quiet. Nobody talks about the Huyton Firm, but this time the police have a secret weapon. They have access to the messages that members of the crime group are sending each other. They show that 30 kilograms of the Huyton Firm's cocaine has been stolen, a haul worth $1 million. The gangsters are shocked that someone has dared to rob them, and they want revenge. The user, named Moonlit Boat, is given the orders on EncroChat, demanding that the robbers are identified and killed. When police later identify him as Vincent Coggins, one of the pieces of evidence is a photo he had sent on EncroChat of his new coffee machine, identical to the one found in Coggins' home. The day after the cocaine heist, Vincent Coggins gets his hands on CCTV of the robbery from a neighbour's house. The footage shows three masked men getting out of a van. A fourth man was carrying a parcel, pretending to be a delivery driver. Within 4 minutes, they make their escape with the Huyton Firm's cocaine. The group's messages show the video was obtained by Thomas Cashman, a hitman for the Huyton Firm. Cashman would later be jailed for life for the murder of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell, who was caught in the crossfire of a gangland shooting. Vincent Coggins orders one of his lieutenants to send the CCTV to everyone they know. Within hours, they think they have identified some of the robbers. Later that night, Coggins messages his enforcer, Paul Woodford, and says he is planning to use a pineapple to kill them, referring to a hand grenade. Woodford replies, "I kill them with you, mate." Woodford has previous convictions for attempting to scalp a woman in the UK and for possessing firearms in the Netherlands. Dutch police thought he was planning to murder a rival crime boss. Vincent Coggins has identified 4 suspects, including local drug dealers Brian Maxwell and his son Brian Maxwell Jr. But he has got the wrong men. The Maxwells had nothing to do with it. In fact, 4 different gangsters are later convicted of the robbery after their EncroChat messages were also gathered by police. Even though Maxwell Sr. had not been involved, he is terrified by the threats from the Huyton Firm. He messages the crime group on EncroChat, saying he has a solution to save his family, which involves me, and me alone, paying the bill. Maxwell Sr. agrees to hand over $1.36 million to cover the stolen cocaine from a robbery he did not commit because he is so scared of Vincent Coggins. Coggins promises Maxwell Sr. his family will be safe if he pays up, but he then sends a very different message to his enforcer, Paul Woodford. He writes, "I'll kill them in a few months when it's calmed down. Very stressful week, need a little break, then I come back." Woodford agrees to kill them. Vincent Coggins and Paul Woodford were arrested before they could carry out their threats. Brian Maxwell Sr. later pleaded guilty to supplying drugs and was sentenced to 13 years and 4 months. His son, Brian Maxwell Jr., was jailed for 18 years after admitting firearms offences. The 32 linked to the May 2020 heist are just one part of a much wider success in the fight against organised crime. The EncroChat breakthrough has led to the conviction of 1,600 criminals across the UK. Matt Horn, who led the NCA's national investigation into the EncroChat, said the Huyton Firm messages after the cocaine heist showed an organised crime group using the same sort of tactics and techniques that might be used by law enforcement, but with the aim of retribution, serious violence and potential murder. But he said EncroChat has completely changed the game in the police's fight against organised crime. What it's done, it's opened up that world and shone a light on it like never before. Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my crime channel. Thank you.